Hey everybody, this is Senkai and welcome back to Axon Gamers. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most unique and maybe greatest experience I had in video gaming, and that's Shenmue for the Sega Dreamcast. So let's get to it. What makes Shenmue such a great game is the atmosphere. It takes immersion to the next level, and playing through this game I really got connected to all the characters, and especially the main character himself, Ryo Hazuki. The game starts off with this incredible opening cinematic where terrible things happen. I don't want to spoil anything actually, I really want you to see this for yourself, but it really grabbed me, and as soon as this cutscene was over, I got extremely motivated to play this game to completion, and I did so. Shenmue was a game that I played for 3 days non-stop, and I couldn't put this game down. But I'll get back to that more later. First of all, I want to say that this story is somewhat of a murder case, so the gameplay or story overall is reminds me a lot of investigation games, or a cool mix of a lot of different genres actually. First of all, you have the adventure mode that I would like to call it, or investigation mode, where you have full control of Ryo Hazuki and go around town and explore stuff. You talk to people, ask them what happened to get more information or clues on where to go next. Ryo Hazuki has this notebook where he wrote down anything important that happens, so at any time when you feel lost or need hints on where to go, you would look in the notebook. It's just a cool thing because you can always look back on previous pages, go back and see what happened in the story previously if you would like to do so. Also in this adventure or investigation mode, you can go around and do more stuff than just playing the game, if I can say so, if that makes sense. You can go to the arcade hall and play old Sega arcade games like Hang On and Space Harrier. It was such a cool thing, and to actually be able to take a break from the game and go to the arcade and play games, it did a lot for me, I think. And yeah, since the story and everything was so good, and you have this time management going on, not really like in games like Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask or like Returns Final Fantasy 13, nothing like that. You would never get stressed by the time management in this game because it's very natural. Every day you woke up and either start progressing the story directly by following the clues you have in the notebook, or you can go do whatever you want. Sometimes I would go train, because you can train in this game, and as Ryo Hazuki I really felt it was important. So some days a week I would actually go train just to be prepared for what's coming up in the story, and it was such a cool thing. Now, why do you train, you might ask? Well, the battle system in this game is really similar to, say, Tekken or Virtua Fighter, especially because this game was actually called Virtua Fighter RPG from the start. So yeah, as far as the battle system goes, this is Virtua Fighter, and when you go over from the first mode into the battle mode, you control Ryo Hazuki just like in Virtua Fighter, so you can go further away from the screen or closer by pressing up and down on the D-pad. To go back and forward obviously, but as far as the other button goes, you have a punch, a kick button, a grab button, and a dodge button. So it really feels like a fighting game, and that's what I meant when I said I wanted to go train, because you can actually go and practice on your moves, just like in a fighting game where you have the typical training mode, you know. So a really cool feature in Shenmue. You can actually learn new moves also by doing side quests and talking to people in the adventure kind of mode. Some people would actually ask you if you wanted to know more about fighting and learn their moves, so that was a really cool thing in this game. The next thing I have to mention is the music in this game. The music is fantastic and it fits so well with the story and the theme of this game overall. Shenmue takes place in Japan, and so the music is very Japanese, if that makes sense, but yeah, it fits perfectly, and when you're playing this game you're gonna know what I mean, because the music is actually one of the things that made this game as good as it is. It was all the different things in this game that made it as good as it is, actually. How you play as Ryo Hazuki from the start to the finish, walking around, getting to know all these people, getting to know this place. You would visit the town and the city and actually learn where everyone in this place lives. Go and check on them every day, see how they're doing, and yeah, the level of immersion in this game was fantastic, as I said. What made this game so good for me, I think, is the variety, actually. That you had the adventure mode where you can go around and talk to people, and also the battle system, which feels like a fighting game, and I love fighting games, but that aside, it was such a cool thing to actually add in a action-adventure game like this one, that you would actually have gameplay like a fighting game. It was such a new thing for me. With the overall story being so powerful and the soundtrack being such a great soundtrack, I think that what made this game come out as such a great game as a whole. And yeah, I love Shenmue. Now, I just want to tell you some of my memories playing Shenmue. It was exactly 1 week ago since I started playing this game from the start, and already I feel so nostalgic about this game. I was actually playing this game 3 days straight, and I have some funny things to say about that. Because the first day I was playing this game I couldn't put it down, and this game is on 3 discs, so the first day I was playing through the first disc and then I went to sleep. And the second day I was playing through the second disc, and there were so many cool things happening in this game, and I remember I was calling Mario to just talk with him and tell him how much I want him to play this game, and he will, obviously, but yeah. But what happened at the end of the second disc, or at the beginning of the third disc, I can't remember, but it's not a spoiler, don't worry. But you actually start working in this game because you need money, and Ryo Hazuki takes a job. And what was so funny was that I was working too that day, so as I was working in the game I had to put it off to go work in real life. And I remember posting on Facebook as soon as I got off job that day how much I wanted to get back home and play Shenmue, even though I was working in Shenmue. I would go from my own job home to work even more in Shenmue, but it was so worth it. And yeah, it was that night I finally beat Shenmue, the third disc, and I stayed up, obviously, because I couldn't put this game down, and it was really worth it. And I want to tell you guys that if you have a Sega Dreamcast and don't have Shenmue, please get this game, because it's so worth it. And even if you don't have a Sega Dreamcast, if you like what I said so far, you might actually want to invest in a Sega Dreamcast and this game. Not for Shenmue alone, but you know, my favorite game of all time, Skies of Arcadia, is on the Dreamcast, so you get more than one reason to buy this. This is something I want to mention as well before we wrap this up. I was chatting with my friend on Facebook, talking about Shenmue. I was on the third disc at that time, I think. I was so hyped to finish the game, but I also had so many things I wanted to talk about, you know? So we was comparing Shenmue to the first game in the Yakuza series, and when he mentioned the level of immersion this game has, I actually had to tell him that Yakuza for me felt like watching a movie, a very, very good movie, in fact. But comparing it to this game, which a lot of people do, I really can't say that. This game was not like watching a movie at all. To play through Shenmue, I actually told him I was living Shenmue, and I really mean that when I said that, because every day in Shenmue, in-game, you would wake up and do your routines. Like some days in the week I would train, But there's also this cat in the game downtown that you meet every time you leave your house and go down the streets. You would see this cat, and every day I would just go and look up at my cat, see how it was doing. Same goes for the NPCs on the way. I would always talk to them and see how they were doing. And as I mentioned, the arcade in this game, I would go there just to have fun. So yeah, even after watching everyone, your girlfriend or love interest in this game is actually at the other side of the town, at the exact opposite of where you start when you woke up every morning. So at the end of this little route that I would create, where I woke up, train, go see the cat, go see the people, go see my friends, it would always end by go and see Nozomi, which is her name, see how she was doing. And that was such a cool thing, because that route, or these routines aside, the game has such a powerful story, and I think by progressing days the story would progress automatically. I don't know, but yeah, that's some of my thoughts on Shenmue. I really want to get back to this game and talk about it more sometime, but for now that's it. And I actually have ordered Shenmue 2, which is on the way, so as soon as I get that, I'm gonna play that game to death, because I really can't wait. This game actually ends with a cliffhanger, if you can say so. So guys, pick up Shenmue, pick up a Dreamcast, borrow it from a friend, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you play this game, because I'm so happy I did. And until next time, get gaming.